folks, Jonathan here. Just wanted to tell you about this new little series that I'm going to do called Trash to Treasure, and it just takes a whole bunch of the stuff that I have been doing and putting it on video. And this is the kind of stuff I've built for years. This is how I put my records together and a lot of other stuff. Cheap stuff, parts, finding stuff. Got a bunch of stuff lined up. Just finished up a posthole digger for my skid steer, and I'm going to go ahead and do part 1 tonight of it, and we'll put part 2 on in a couple days. We've been doing a bunch of restorations. I've got a young fellow's been coming helping out, and we've actually got quite a bit done. I've been feeling pretty good lately, and so I've got a bunch of videos actually already started that will be out very soon. But like I said, this is going to be the first episode of a bunch of smaller builds, restorations, stuff like that. I'm not going to do much restoration when it comes to antique stuff, but I'm going to show you a bunch that we have been doing, but in an upcoming video. But the main thing is building some of this stuff. I've got a few things in line. Power axe. I got a like I said, posthole digger that I've just finished up, and I've got my big air compressor or vacuum cleaner I still want to build. So I've got a bunch of stuff lined up here that I'm going to do, that I'm going to keep videotaping. I hadn't been doing a lot of videotaping when it comes to some of the other restorations we've done, the smaller stuff, but I'll get them on video also. But I hope you enjoy. Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, new project. And this is not something I want to do. It's something that, well, I want to do it, but I got to do it too. So we're going to go take this bucket off. This is the case quick attach pins. So we're going to go take this bucket off, unhook the Form 1 lines. We got quick connects, and then we're going to hook up our winch box. All right. So winch box is hooked up, and I'm working on getting the cable off. The problem with this winch box is there's no freewheel on this winch, and I have not been happy with this winch ever since I put it on there. I mean, it's worked and we've used it and all that good stuff, but it's only a 12,000 pound winch, and no freewheel really makes it rough. Doubles your time of work. I mean, it's just, or almost, but I mean, it's terrible. So here's the plan. I need a hydraulic driven winch gearbox for an auger, and we're talking about a 13-inch auger for doing post holes. Well, I looked at my options, my winches and gearboxes, and this is the best option, and this is going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to take this winch off and replace it with a 20,000 pound planetary hydraulic with freewheel. And right now what I'm doing is taking the cable off. Now the other winch that I'm going to put back on this will be stronger, it'll hold more cable, and it will freewheel, which is very important. All right, we got her out. But joked around a million times about calling in a sky hook or something like that, but I'm not lying to you. It sure comes in handy. Even working on stuff like this, I didn't figure it would ever would, but it's too heavy to lift. A friend of mine, John, that owns Buchanan Salvage, had a real auger. This is one off of a line truck. This is a 15-inch, so it's bigger. It's got hardened teeth, but it is missing one here. But we can take these whole pieces off and just bolt steel here and weld hard facing on it, and that's all we'll really need. And a little bigger auger, but we should have enough power to turn it. We're not looking for speed. We got a little work to do on it right here. Shouldn't be a problem to fix. And we don't need it this long. It's 8 foot long. And I don't even think I could run it that long because I'm not sure I got the height. So I think what we'll do is go up here and just cut it off and figure out what size inside is and make us a bushing to go in it. Now this one drove, instead of a round shaft, it's got a, looks like a spline shaft. And we can't run that because we don't have it. But what we'll do is cut this, and whatever size round it is, we'll make a bushing to go between that and our winch size, which is about 1.5 inches. And then we'll just have to drill a hole completely through it and put a shear bolt in it. And if we hit something hard enough, I guess it'll shear the bolt. If not, we'll just keep right on rolling with it. So, you know, I guess time will tell here how it's going to work out. So I think first thing we're going to do is cut this thing off and see what we're working with. Okay folks, we're getting her apart here. On a non-freewheel model, it still uses all the parts. This dog's in just like it would. The only thing difference is there's no fork on it and there's no rod running through to operate the fork. Why they would ever do that, I don't know. But I guess it was ordered without one. But here's the collar that was on it. And they just slide it in and tighten it up. But I may use this piece as part of my deal, trying to get that pipe centered on this shaft. And I think it's going to work out really well. So let me see if I can get these keys out so I can get this drum off, and we'll go from there. All right folks, got it off. So now the plan, this is going to be used down this way, and I'm going to turn it down to slide inside of the pipe on the auger. And then we've got another piece that I'm going to turn down and put a lip on it, slides in the top of the auger, and it'll weld to the auger. And then we're probably going to try to drill a hole through this. Hopefully it'll drill, and then we'll go from there. I have got a pillar block bearing I got to pick up in the morning, 1 3/4 inch. I'm going to put here. Now I'm not saying we need it or we don't need it, but I'm going to put it here because I need to tie these two together anyway. And we just as well put a bearing in. You know, I know it's got a bushing here and a bushing on the other side, but I don't know how strong it is. And you know, there's going to be a lot of side load on this thing. So if we put a bearing in here, I'll just get it on and put it on, and then bolt a plate to it and then weld it in. And then we know that it won't put a lot of stress on this aluminum case, and should take care of any issues there. So that's the plan. Alright folks, here's my two pieces. This is the one that come out of the winch I turned down. We're going to set it 10 inches down, and I'm just going to drill a couple holes here and plug weld it, and we're just going to slide it in and slide it through this one, which actually is going to go in here, I hope. Yeah, when I'm done. And so I got to grind that straight. I didn't get a good cut on that with that chop saw, but anyway, this will get knocked down in and welded, and then the shaft will just slide through, and we're going to drill this, and we're going to try to drill through the shaft and everything, and then just put a shear bolt to it. And we're not going to run the keys or nothing like that. Okay folks, so we've got this one slid in and plug welded in place so it won't move. And now we have got this one slid down on, as you can see, and it's going to go right in the end, but we're going to mark it so this only sticks down just a little over 10 inches, about 11 inches actually, and then should be able to slide it together there and weld this into our pipe and then start drilling this. So we're going to drill through it and see if that shaft will drill. If it won't, we'll take the winch in there and do it on the mill. I know the casing will drill good, and I'm pretty sure that'll drill fine. I did work harden it a little bit, but it'll be okay. We'll drill it. So let's see what we can do about getting that slid together and welded up. All right folks, melted in good. I'm leaving 5 inches out. Got to give us room for our block bearing and our piece across. It's only about 4 now. Got to slide it back out a little bit. All right folks, got the hole drilled. That was fun. I actually ended up drilling part of it. This shaft was actually pretty soft. But where I had work hardened that piece, I had to use a 1/2-inch ball mill to go through it. But we're through it, and the bolt goes through fine. Now I've got a grade 8 bolt in it now, and I know that's not right for as a shear bolt, but we're going to put it in there anyway. And I've got my bearing. That was $30, so that's really the only money I've spent on this thing so far. So I've got to drill out a piece of angle, and it's going to bolt in there, and once I get it bolted in, then I'll get it welded in, and then that part will be done. We can start making the mount for it, and I've still got to do a couple cutting edges on the other end, and we'll try to get this thing put together. Alright folks, it's on, and bolted in, welded in, all that good stuff. Now we're going to start making the mount, and we're going to have to get the motor back on it. And I've still got to do something about a couple cutting edges for this end, and a little welding here and there to fix things. I think this thing used to be about 16 inches, down to 15 now, but you know, it'll do fine for what we want. Now another thing too is I'm in the sand hills. This is sand. The roughest thing this thing's going to see is when it hits a root or a stump or something like that. So this sand shouldn't be too bad on it. I think it'll work okay. We're going to find out here real soon. It won't be long. All right folks, I brought my sky hook around here and picked it up. Now I've just got it welded on the inside here, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a gap between it because I didn't want to, I wasn't going to force it, you know. I just wanted the bearing to line itself up, and then welded it. So we'll get all that finished up welding. The motor mounts there, of course. We've got to get it mounted on the machine, and then make a pivot for it, and we'll get that all done, and a quick pin, you know, to put it on quick and take it off quick. And then I found a piece of cutting edge here, and got one new edge on it, so we'll cut 2 short pieces to put on that. Okay folks, moving right along, just about getting close anyway. So I ended up drilling some holes, or putting some holes in this plate. This is 2 pieces of angle put together, and 1.25-inch holes, and we're working on this now. I'm just using scrap, whatever I got. Now I thought this out long and hard about which way I wanted this unit to be able to swing, whether I wanted it all, you know, 4 ways or just side to side. I can tilt this thing this way and this way, so getting it level that way is no problem. Left to right, if my machine is unlevel, then the hole wouldn't be straight. So that's why I decided to let it swing back and forth that way. And I think we can compensate. You know, if it's crooked, I can turn the machine a little bit and compensate for it. So that's why I decided to go that way. Now this is just scrap stuff that I had that I'm putting together, and this will bolt through the top of the auger here. Hopefully we'll have this done in a few minutes. And then I've got a lot more welding to do here, and then I'm probably going to run 2 braces over, one from here over on each side, and that'll triangulate it all in, so we don't have to worry about it moving. I just don't want to do anything until I know we got good clearance and everything. So that's the deal. This is a 1/4-inch plate, 2 1/4-inch plates put together here, and then this plate here is going to go on top, and they'll get all welded together. And you know, it's 1/4-inch, 1/4-inch, 1/2-inch. So I really wanted to go heavier stuff, but you know, I'm using what I've got. That's the whole thing with this sort of this build series, is to try to put stuff together without going out spending a lot of money. The bolt come from my hardware store, so I'm still at $30 in this whole unit. So we'll have her hooked up here shortly. All right folks, here's where we're at on this long going project here. We got everything on, everything hooked up. I've got some pieces I want to put in to triangulate this in to get it stronger. I got some cleaning up I want to do on the welds and grinding, and a few other little things, and we're making a point for it now. So we got to have something as a point on it. We are working on the center point of the auger now, and I was going to make it a screw type. So what I've done, I just took a piece of 3-inch thick wall tubing, and I divided it by 4, the circumference by 4, come up to 2.3 something. So I went 2.3 in 4 places and took a V out and went ahead and knocked it in together to make as close to a perfect point as I could make anyway. So now we're going to cut this out of steel, out of 1/4 inch plate, and basically hammer it down around and try to make it into an auger, a small auger tip to go on it. And we're going to weld it on because we're not going to be using this thing like a utility company, so we're not going to use it enough to really wear things out. So it ought to do just fine, but we'll cut this out next and go from there. All right. Okay, folks, so here's what we got for an auger. Not perfect by any means. We're not going to grind it anymore. I'm not worried about it. It's just what we want. So we are going to weld it on the end here. Now, should work out just fine. And then that'll get us started. Now, one of the reasons I can weld this is cast, but it's not cast iron. I'm assuming it's cast steel because it's already been welded too. So I think it'll be fine. So we're gonna clean it up, weld it. We got to burn this hole in and go ahead and get a bolt in here. And I think we'll be able to at least do a little bit of testing here, and then we'll finish everything up. All right.